A Not Scary Story About Big Scary Things by C.K. Williams and Gabi Światowska. Once upon a time, there was a forest. It was your regular, ordinary, standard kind of forest. It had big, dark trees that blocked the sunlight. It had hills and mountains that you had to climb. It had cliffs to fall off and rivers to fall in. And also you knew that probably in this forest there were bears who growled. You could tell because if you listened very hard, you could almost hear them. And there also might have been wolves who howled because you could almost hear them too. And probably there were big snakes that slithered through the underbrush right next to the path. In short, it was your usual scary, frightening, terrifying, mystifying forest. Except that this forest was a little different from other forests because along with all those other scary things, the bears and wolves and snakes and cliffs, it had one other thing. It had a monster. That's what people said, anyway. People said there was a monster in that forest. It was awful, they said. It was big, about 10 feet 6 inches tall, and it was scary. It was green, for one thing, or blue, or maybe it changed colors. It had long, sharp claws, for another thing, and fangs, big, long, sharp fangs, and teeth, and a big, prickly tail like a porcupine, but much bigger and sharper. And people said that this monster liked nothing better in the world than to scare little children, to really scare little children. Now, one day there was just such a child walking through the forest. It was a little boy. What in heaven's name do you think that he was doing alone in that scary forest? Well, maybe he had an errand to do. Maybe he had to take this or that from here to there. Or maybe this or that had to go from there to here. Who knows? Maybe he just lived near the forest. Maybe he was just taking a walk. It doesn't matter. There he was in the forest, walking along the path alone under the big dark trees. But even though this was a scary, frightening, terrifying forest, this little boy wasn't afraid. He was pretty sure that he could hear the bears growling in their caves, but he knew that all bears like to do anyway is to eat fish and berries and to take naps. He thought he could hear wolves howling too, but he knew that wolves liked to stay as far away as they could from human beings so that they could hunt and howl hello to each other. What about snakes, though? Well, the little boy knew that snakes were more afraid of people than people were of snakes. And that's even if you saw one, all you had to do was stop and wait, and the snake would slither away from you. And the monster? The monster people said that was in this forest, the monster who was 10 feet 6 inches tall, who was green or blue or could change colors and who had big long claws and teeth and fangs. What about the monster who went growl and who just might be leaping out of the bushes at you? What about the monster who was leaping out at you and going growl right now? What do you do when that happens? Well, what this little boy did was that he didn't do anything. He just kept on walking along the path. The big green or blue scary monster looked down to the little boy and crashed his fangs together and went, "Row!" But the little boy just looked at him and kept on walking. "Row!" The monster went again. The little boy looked at him again and just kept right on walking along the path that led through the forest back to his house. Then the monster started jumping up and down alongside him. He growled and growled again. "Row!" He crashed his fangs together. He scrunched his claws into the ground. He waved his prickly tail. But the boy just walked along as though there wasn't anybody there at all. "Hey," the monster said finally, "you'd better watch out because if you're not careful, I might eat you up." The little boy just kept walking. "Row," the monster said. "Hey, you're supposed to be afraid of me. Aren't you afraid of me?" "No, I'm not," the little boy said. "What do you mean?" the monster said. "Look at how huge I am. Look at how scary I am. Watch, I'll crash my fangs for you." "I don't care," the boy said. "I'm not afraid of you because I don't believe in you." You don't believe in me? The monster said, but I'm right here in front of you. Don't you see how scary I am? Everybody says I'm scary. I don't care what everybody says, the little boy said. You're not real. Monsters aren't real. I'm not real, the monster said. Look. And he thrashed his big tail in the bushes. That doesn't make you real, the little boy said. Listen, said the monster, I'll crash my fangs really loud for you. And he did. Crash! I don't care, the boy said. You're not real. The bear growling in his cave is real, but he won't bother anybody. And the wolves howling far away are real, and the snake slithering along the ground who's actually afraid of everything. And everybody is real, but you're just not real. Look, the monster said, I'll change colors for you. Then you'll see I'm real. And he changed from green to blue to red to green and back again, but the little boy just kept walking along. Watch now, I'll make my teeth even longer and sharper for you, the monster said. And his teeth got longer and sharper and his fangs crashed even louder, but the boy just kept walking along. He was almost home now and he was a little hungry, so he started walking faster. Wait, the monster said, what am I supposed to do if you don't believe in me? That's my job, you know. That's what I'm supposed to do, scare boys and girls. I'm sorry, the boy said. I can't believe in something that's not real. The monster was very upset now. Couldn't you just believe in me just a little bit? He asked the boy. If you had been there when he said that, you'd probably been a little surprised and looked at the monster even more closely because you might have thought that the monster was suddenly a bit smaller than he had been before. Nope, the boy said. Please, the monster begged. Could you believe in me just a teeny bit? The monster definitely was smaller now. He wasn't even close to 10 feet, 6 inches tall. In fact, he was only about 6 feet. No, even less than that. Why, he wasn't bigger than the little boy. Just a teeny weeny little bit, the monster begged again. The monster was much smaller now. He was so small, in fact, that he was having trouble keeping up with the boy. The boy was nearly home. It was almost dinner time, and he was even hungrier than before, so he was going pretty fast. Hey, wait up, the monster said. Don't leave me all alone here like this. Okay, the little boy said, and he picked up the monster. The monster nestled in the boy's arm. He was so small now that he looked very much like a kitten. Please, please, he said, please believe in me just a little bit. Well, all right, the boy said. I suppose I could believe in you a little, but no more than that. Just then the boy arrived home. There was his mother standing on the steps of their house. Look what I found in the forest, the boy said, and he lifted up the monster in his arms to show his mother. Meow, the monster said. Meow, meow. Please, Mom, the little boy said. Can I keep him?